Sometimes, game developers will allow people to pre-purchase a game before it is complete, to test core features and mechanics. Species, Artificial Life, Real Evolution, big name, amazing results, is one such a game. Developed by Quasar, they set out to make a game that simulates the randomness of gene evolution manipulation with survival capabilities. It sounds good on paper, but in practice, we'll get to that. So at first I saw this as a homage to Spore, a game which I loved very much. Needless to say, it is not like Spore. In today's Ryeniken review, we'll be talking about the core mechanics I found throughout my time playing the game. I'll also discuss the menu system and things that are going to need a bit of tweaking. I'll also not be giving this game a review score, as it is nowhere near a complete comprehensive game, more like a life simulator at this time. Before you start your game, you're greeted with this Starcraft-esque menu system with a lot of customizable options. These variations dictate how your creatures will need to evolve in order to survive on the sample planet zone. Now, once you're in the game, you'll be treated to a huge number of menus, each with their own sub-menus. Now here comes my first gripe. Once you do figure out the menu system and how the game works, and there is a pretty good tutorial to work through that, on the other hand it does take a while, the information you want to see isn't clearly displayed. For example, why is this creature dying? Why is this piece of desert literally 4 feet away from this piece of tundra? Landscapes need to be expanded and simplified in order to better adjust to their surrounding tiles. Now, I have seen this issue in games before, particularly in the games that I've made myself. You try to bite off much more than you can chew, implement more and more features, and then you lose sight of what makes the game fun in the first place. Species, Artificial Life, Real Evolution needs a bit of simplification across the board. Yes, it is cool to see genetic structures of your creations after you bomb them with nuclear radiation, which also seems to have no major side effects besides making your creatures more diverse and awesome, but it takes up a lot of space which could be used for, I don't know, telling me why this creature is dying instead of the fact that it is dying. Now, you are able to customize your species in a nursery, and this feature, while cool, it's a bit complicated. Remember that main menu at the beginning of the review? I'd love to see a tutorial button there instead of incorporating it into this new world creation. Create a generic, non-changing tutorial that allows people to understand what the heck this editor is even used for. Now, the most fun I had during the game was when I was driving this little rover around. But frankly, besides movement, there isn't much else to this rover mode, and I found it by far the most entertaining and interesting of the features. This gives me hope of what the game could be though. For example, make a game mode where all of your mutations and editor screens are portable and attached to the drone. Have a set time period in which events occur that the players can see, like water level drops 50% in 300 days, or global temperature decreases 20 degrees Celsius over the next 2 years, and then make the player drive around, try to locate, find, and genetically modify the targets to better give them a fighting chance of surviving these events. Add a score counter to the number of surviving creatures at the end of the time period, and make a global high scores counter. There's so much potential for this game, but as it currently stands, the game just isn't that much fun. And yes, if the purpose of this game was to create a complex simulator, they are on the right track. But if they wanted to make a game that others will enjoy and that will be played by the masses, there needs to be a significant turn in the core of this game. I hope the developers see this review and understand that it comes from someone who wants games in general to succeed. I want you guys to succeed, but I personally don't see much of a market or want to play a game that is so heavily based around waiting, and where one of the core mechanics, population growth, is capped at a very specific number based on the computer limitations of the person playing the game. I want to see 50,000 creatures teeming my screen, but with either optimization or current computer limitations, I found my personal soft limit on the rig was around 1,000. Anything above that, and the game had a significant drop in frames. Now, I know some of this might be an optimization issue, but once again, each creature has its own calculatable stats and all need to be running simultaneously. Either way, I feel like something has got to give somewhere. And that's everything for today's review. I wish I could have given some more positive feedback, but the game needs some TLC to get where it needs to be. And I know this is super early access, and that's why I'm being so tough on it, because it really needs to figure out who it wants to be. Thanks for watching, stay tried, true, and trunky, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!